What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary free. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link in discount code down the description. You also know I'm a Weevil preferred influencer. Do yourself a favor. You've got the holiday off today. Hopefully, click the link. Go open an account. All you have to do is deposit a single dollar. They will give you up to 12 free fractional shares. This is the same promotion that they've ran the last couple months, except it's now deposit any amount. It used to be deposit a minimum of $100 to get the same benefit. Would you rather deposit $1? Would you rather deposit $100? It is going to go back to the old promotion. So please, by all means, if you've ever been on the fence, now is the time. I don't know they're going to do this again. Take advantage of the best promotion. Deposit the dollar. Get your free stock. I know you will be happy with the results. Not happy, though, with the results of this play in Madden. I'm going to show this to you at speed, and there are so many things that we have to talk about from a logic perspective that just don't make sense. I want you to start by focusing on the line play here, and it really comes down to a game engine not equipped to simulate football and the game not having enough animations to simulate football, because as you can see, we get a little bit of a chip, but not enough, in my opinion, to reflect the tight end actually acknowledging the presence of the defensive end, just kind of brushing together. This is the angle he's going to take, and it's very elongated, but you can see he's going to try to work back inside, and this is where the game just doesn't have enough animations. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but first I want you to focus on this safety back here, because what he does during this play makes no sense, and this is a coding logic. When you can only control one player on the field, take your pick. The defensive end doing nothing, or the safety that has his back turned to the play. When we look at this from the inverse angle, none of this makes sense. Look at how he's acting in the open field. Watch how much space, as we zoom in, this opens up for the receiver. Backs turned with all the defenders. Yes, they're backing up into the zone, but look at this safety. He now has to get all his speed, momentum back together, and he doesn't even do that well. Look at the movement that he's exhibiting. Why does the game act like this? To go back to the line, you can see we're shifting through players, we're morphing through players, we're turning back inside, we don't have an animation, so we're just creating a mess of football. You can't read this. Yes, the ball's thrown away. Yes, it's a positive play for the defense, but watch what it does to get that result. This is not what we expect on a next-gen console. The reality here, you can only play as one of these players. If you're on defense, you've got to pick your poison. You can't fix everyone's position. Are you controlling the safety because you know he's going to turn around and act ridiculous? Are you going to try the line control and realize that maybe during the play you're not going to have any animation to branch out of and your player's body is just going to slide in between two linemen, and you're going to fall to the ground, having no impact on the play. I also want to just show you a little bit more lack of awareness in this game, and to me, all of these things come down to polish. All of these things come down to refinement. Simply playing the game enough. Simply understanding, hey, these are the coding issues we have to deal with. Simple things, right? If you don't have an animation, and you're playing the game, and you see your lineman kind of just fall in between two players, if you're watching the game and you see, hey, that tight end didn't actually do what we expected him to do. He didn't grab a hold or he didn't chip well enough. He just kind of brushed into him. Those are the times you need to go back as a game designer and say, we need specific animations to help with this. This doesn't look good. This isn't playing well, and I don't have control. To that same point, if you're playing the game enough, you're able to see, why is this safety turning around? We need to go in, reprogram the logic, make sure that he's staying in his back pedal because he's putting himself in a position to give up a pass, and the user is not going to be able to click back fast enough. You can't fix everything in this game at once. And when you don't have all that polish, you have things like this happen. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but if you spike the ball, it literally will post as a penalty like you threw it. Now, yes, you are throwing the ball into the ground intentionally, but does the game really need to give you a pop-up to express to you why this wasn't a completed pass? The goal of spiking the ball is to create an incomplete pass so that you can stop the clock to kick a field goal, preserve a timeout, get yourself in a better position on the field, and the fact that this game doesn't recognize that. This is one of the most tried and true coaching techniques in all of football. We're not talking about NFL football. We're talking about college football, semi-pro football, high school, middle school, Pop Warner. It doesn't matter. Spiking the ball is something just about every football team will do. Yet Madden can't differentiate between a player spiking the ball to stop the clock and an incomplete pass that was thrown to no one. And this, to me, when you talk about last year, John Madden taking his namesake, making the most polished game. When you talk about this year, make or break, this is the best we have. These are when you know, as a gamer, this isn't the best that you've got. I hate to be the person that sits there and says they don't watch NFL football. I hate to be the person that sits there and says they don't play their game, because I know that they do. I know they do. I'm not going to disrespect them to that level. I know some people will, but listen, to sit there and assume they don't watch NFL football or they've never watched football is preposterous when they're building this game. They have to know some of the basics, but you also have to look at things like this in the game and realize they've got to be fixed. You can't let things like this get out in the wild, so to speak, because there's going to be gamers that immediately have their immersion ruined by something like this. When I'm playing the game and I spike the ball, I expect the announcers to understand why I did it. I expect to see the possibility of my coach on the sideline looking at a play sheet. I expect to see the possibility of maybe my kicker warming up or talking to the long snapper, which, by the way, is a position that Madden has needed to respect for the longest of times. I expect to see maybe the crowd being a little bit more interactive, looking around, asking themselves, questioning, hey, do we kick it now? Do we not kick it now? Do we have time for another play? Can we run a quick pass? Can we maybe try a quick run? All of these things, all of these conversations, all of these dynamics happen in real football. Next week, you're going to watch this week, you're going to watch real football, and these moments are going to happen. And none of it is captured by this game that's supposed to simulate NFL football. I guarantee you've never seen a quarterback spike the ball in the NFL and had an announcer say, you know what, that was an incomplete pass because XYZ. A lot of times they're talking about this in the hurry up. They're talking about getting to this point. And I think this just shows you how basic this game is. Basic is the only word I can use to describe something trying to simulate football and failing in these levels. And again, I stress to you guys, this is simple coding. It's as simple as when you spike the ball, don't show the code that's going to let the user know what the input was. It's not rocket science. It's literally one line of code. Either the game has been coded on top of coding, on top of coded, on top of coded for 15 years, and they can't get down to that layer, or they're really just too lazy, or maybe they think we're so stupid we're not going to notice things like this and talk about it. But I promise you, more people in the community should. And you know, when they don't, I will always be back in the week with more commentary.